All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most exciting and in-demand jobs in tech, the Azure Data Engineer. We're going to break down the problems they solve, the awesome tools they get to use, and what their journey really looks like. Think about it. Every single day, we are creating this unbelievable, unimaginable amount of information. It's pouring out of our phones, our businesses, our smart homes, everywhere. But on its own, raw data is, well, it's just noise. The people who step in and turn that chaos into actual meaning, who build the systems to handle this flood, those are the data engineers. So, to really understand our hero, the data engineer, we first have to meet the villain of our story. We need to understand the colossal challenge that created this job in the first place, the big data problem. You know, for decades, traditional databases were king, and they were fantastic, for structured data anyway, the kind of stuff that fits perfectly into a nice, neat spreadsheet. But then they hit a wall, a really big one. They just weren't built for the absolute chaos of modern data. They couldn't scale up fast enough, and they definitely couldn't handle all the weird shapes and sizes information comes in now. This new world of data is usually defined by what we call the 5 Vs. First, you've got volume, just the mind-boggling scale of it all. Then there's velocity. I mean, think about the constant fire hose of social media posts or stock trades happening every single second. After that is variety. Data isn't just clean numbers anymore, right? It's images, videos, audio, messy, unstructured text. And we're not done. There's also veracity. How much can you actually trust the data? And finally, the most important one, value. What's the point of all this if you can't get something useful out of it? So how in the world do you tame this 5-headed data monster? Well, you're going to need a seriously powerful set of tools. And in the world of Azure, that starts with a core engineering toolkit that was designed for this exact challenge. First up, let's talk about the pipeline. Okay, imagine your goal is to grab all the latest customer reviews from a website and get them into a database so you can analyze them. The pipeline is the entire workflow for that. It's the master plan, the blueprint that says how data gets from point A to point B.
So if the pipeline is our master plan, an activity is just a single step in that plan. So for our customer review project, one activity would be copy the new reviews from the website. Another activity might be clean up the text to remove typos. Each one is a small, focused, individual action.
But hang on, how does our pipeline know where to get the reviews or where to put them when it's done? That's the job of a linked service. Think of it like the address and the set of keys to any outside system. It securely holds all the connection details our pipeline needs to actually get its job done. And you know, this toolkit is never standing still. It's always evolving. The next huge step is something called Microsoft Fabric. The whole goal here is to bring all of these different tools for integration, engineering, analytics, you name it, and pull them together into one single unified platform. Okay, theory is great, right? We've met the challenge, we've seen the tools. Now let's actually put them to work. Let's walk through a real-world mission, moving a company's data from their own servers, end to end, into the cloud. I mean, it's one thing to know what a hammer and a saw are, but it's something else entirely to actually build a house with them. So how do data engineers take on a massive project like a cloud migration without it turning into total chaos? Well, it's a very structured process, usually broken down into 3 main phases. First, you have to strategize and plan everything out in detail. What are we moving? Why are we moving it? And how are we going to pull it off? Second is the readiness phase, where you get the cloud environment all set up and prepped. And finally, you execute the migration. And once the data lands safely, you can start to innovate with it. But here's the thing. Just getting the data into the cloud, that's really just the starting line. The best analogy is to think of raw data like crude oil. It has incredible potential, but it's not actually useful until you refine it. And a really popular way of refining that data is called the medallion architecture. It's pretty simple, really. Data first lands in the bronze layer, completely raw, totally untouched. Then, in the silver layer, it gets cleaned up, validated, and put into a consistent format. And finally, it reaches the gold layer. This is the highly polished, business-ready data, all aggregated and perfect for reports and dashboards.
So, what does all this technical stuff mean for you? Well, this entire process isn't just some abstract theory. It's the absolute backbone of a high-demand, really rewarding career. Let's take a look at what that path actually looks like.
And trust me, this is no small niche field. In fact, just a single professional training program has already seen over 1,500 people get skilled up for this exact type of role. The path is there, and the demand is absolutely real. And when you're sitting in that job interview, you are going to be asked questions just like this one. They don't just want to hear you recite definitions. They want to know how you've used what you know to solve real, messy, challenging problems. They want to hear your war stories. Your resume is going to be built around these core services. You'll have Azure Data Factory, which is the orchestra conductor for all your workflows. You'll have Azure Databricks for the really heavy-duty data crunching and transformation, Synapse for massive-scale analytics, and now Microsoft Fabric, which is becoming that all-in-one environment for everything. And here's the great part. You wouldn't be stepping into some brand new, unproven, Wild West sort of field. The tools, the best practices, the whole community around this role, they've been growing and maturing for over 13 years. That means you're building on a really solid foundation of knowledge and experience. So, let's wrap this up. The world is creating more data than ever before. The tools we have to manage it are more powerful than we could have even imagined a decade ago. And the demand for people who can master those tools, well, it's only going up. So the only question left is, are you ready to build?